Hi, my name is Jerry Coates. I am a member of the GIS Mapping Center, and today I'm going to show you how to use the OnPoint Leaf application. The Leaf application will allow you to mark streets in the county that have been cleaned of their leaves. When the application opens up, it opens up with a map of the county. There are a few different ways that you can navigate to the location that you would like to work on. There is search tools that we have at the top. You have a block search, address search, and intersection search. You also have a zoom in, zoom out tool, and a pan tool. We're going to use the zoom in tool to zoom into an area to mark some streets. So I'm going to click on the zoom in tool. The way you would use this tool is you can hold down your right mouse key, drag a polygon around a section of the map, and it will zoom into that particular area. Or you can single click on the map and it will zoom in to that particular area of the county. I'm going to zoom in a little tighter so we can get very close and you can see a lot of the lines. Okay, we're at a point where we want to do some editing. If you look at the streets, there are 3 lines on the streets. There's a line down the center of all the streets. That line allows you to be able to select one side of the street or the other. So we're going to do one side of one street first. To do the editing, you need to go to the Tools menu, select the Tools, go down to the Editing option, select Editing. The Editing menu comes up. You can see that the edit layer is the leaf collection status. That's what we're going to be working with. I'm going to click on the Selection tool so I can start my selection, selecting the street that I want to mark. Selection tool comes up and it has a whole bunch of different options that you can use to do a selection. We're going to do the select by polygon, which is the first one. So I'm going to click on the select by polygon. I'm going to go over and I'm going to select one side of Nelson Street. To start my selection, I'm going to click for each corner of the polygon. I'm going to make sure that I click the polygon inside the line, and the last portion of my polygon I'm going to double click and that will close the selection. Now you can see that I have one side of North Nelson Street selected. Here's my selection list here. Now that I have it selected, I can go in and change the attribute and highlight the area. By changing the attribute, I go to the attribute editor in the editing tool, select it. When I click on it, it brings up a window. It shows you the street segment that I have selected. To change this to highlighted to green, I'm going to go to the leaf status, P1, select the drop down, select yes, hit update, and when I finish, the street should be selected and it's now green. So I'm finished. I can go and close the attribute editor. I can close my selection list. It's going to ask me if I want to clear my results and I tell it yes, so I click the OK button. The screen will refresh and now you see that there is a green highlight on half of the street or one side of the street. Let's say that I want to do multiple streets in both sides. I'm going to go back to the polygon selection tool, highlight it to make sure it's activated. I'm going to go in and create a polygon that intersects a couple of different streets. You see that all these street segments have been highlighted. They're listed in my selection list. Now that they're highlighted, I can go in with the attribute editor and do a what we call bulk update. So I'm going to click the attribute editor. It brings up the list of all the streets that I have. Now to do a bulk update or do multiple streets at one time, I need to go and click on the leaf collection status in the attribute editor. What that does is that selects all of those streets. And now you see right here it says bulk update. I'm going to go to the leaf status P1, click the drop down, tell it yes, hit update, and now I have all of those streets, both sides of the street, highlighted. Now I can go back and click the close for the attribute editor, click close for the selection list, tell it OK to clear the results, and it shows me that it has both sides of the two streets that I had selected. So let's say that I inadvertently selected one street and didn't want to do that one, and I need to go and fix it. So I'm going to go back to North Nelson because I really didn't want to select this particular one, and I want to unhighlight it. So I'm going to use the selection tool again to select it. I'll click on the street and make sure that I don't go too far into the street so I only get one side of the street. I've highlighted one portion of North Nelson. I'm going to go to the attribute editor. When I click on the attribute editor, it brings up that one section of the street and it shows that the P1 status is yes. I'm going to go in and change that leaf status to no, hit my update, and it removes the highlighting that we have for that street. I can close the attribute editor, close the selection list, and that has been removed for me. And that's how you go in and mark these streets for leaf collection status. There are, as I mentioned before, search tools that will allow you to do some searches. You can do an intersection search, an address search, and a block search. Let's say you wanted to do an address search. If I click on the address search, it's going to bring up two boxes for me. One box I'm going to enter in the address number. The other box I'm going to enter in 4 characters of the street. So I'm going to enter in CLAR, and then I'm going to use the lookup table to look up the street. Click the lookup table, hit the drop down. It brings up all the streets that have CLAR in them. Clarendon Boulevard is the one that I want. Select Clarendon Boulevard and do search. OnPoint takes me to that particular address, puts a point at that location. So there's my address. And that is how you use the OnPoint application for leaf collection. If you have any questions regarding this application, you can always get in touch with me, Jerry Coates, at extension 4391. You can also contact Bill Everingham, Tim Ernest, and Mary Beth Fletcher in the GIS Mapping Center. Thank you.